If you've ever struggled with depression, I don't care what grade of depression it is, you know how difficult it can be just to get through the day. We have a tendency to procrastinate a ton of things. We have a tendency to overspeak, overtalk about our depression or our emotional state. We have a tendency to stay away from healthy activities, believe it or not. We have a tendency to go more towards junk food, comfort food, because it does in the short term minimize some of the effects of depression. Absolutely. Oh my God. Sugar, fat, white flour, salt, numb the emotion in the brain. And so you may feel relief after having some of that type of food if you have depression. You may also find alcohol is a great way to minimize depression in the short run. And then, of course, it comes back and double backs on you. And before you know it, it's twice as deep. So I want to talk about some of these things. Number one is identity. Too many times we say, well, I'm a depressed person. And what we really need to do is reframe. And one of the things with identities is we've got to constantly reframe. What does that mean? Every time you make a comment to yourself, well, I'm a depressed person, I'm depressed, and I just can't do these things. I don't have the energy for this because I'm depressed. Or you tell friends, I'd love to go to this concert, but I'm depressed. I'm depressed. And so all of a sudden, everything we're talking about has to do with the identity of depression. And what does that do? The subconscious mind eats it up and makes the depression even deeper. And we let it go another 6 months or a year, it gets deeper. We let it go another 6 months or a year, it gets even deeper. So what does it mean when we say that we want to remove the identity? We want to take that identity away. Well, we do it via reframing. So every time you say to yourself, well, I can't do this because I'm depressed, or man, I wish I wasn't always depressed, or telling your friends or family, I can't do that because I have depression, is we reframe it, right? In writing. And I swear to God, this is the most powerful technique that you can ever use, reframing and writing. And we write something really simple. I'm feeling a little down today. We don't use the word depression. I'm feeling a little down today, but I'm going to do this in order to help myself heal. And every time we have a depressed thought or a thought of depression, or we talk to someone about depression, we do the reframing. I just got off the phone with Mary, and oh my God, there I went again talking about my depression. Okay, here we go. Yes, I'm feeling a little down. I'm going to minimize the amount of time I talk to others about what I'm going through. Now, let's put on some music. Let's play a musical instrument. Let's go for a walk. In other words, when we reframe, we want to follow it up with something positive. It's not that difficult, but you have to do the work, okay? Now, a lot of antidepressants may work for some people, may not work for others, but there are certain things that work for everyone, and this is one of them. Reframing, getting away from the identity, getting away from talking about your quote-unquote disease state or mental health state. That's most important, crucial. Number two is going to be, what are we doing physically? Do you have any crafts? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any exercise that you're doing? We know the number one combatant against depression, other than what we say our medications, would be exercise. Oh my God. Getting blood flow, increasing the release of dopamine and serotonin in the brain happens when we're in that mindset of activity, physical activity. Journaling, talking about things that are great, gratitude journaling. And then if you have a bad day, say, gosh, I was supposed to do these 4 things today. I only got 2 done. All right, let me reframe. Today, I got 50% I've wanted to do done. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the other 50% at 10 in the morning. You see, we start to reframe our thoughts, our activities, and everything else we can think about in order to minimize our identity with depression. The other thing is meditation and deep breathing. Now, I talk about these for anxiety. Oh my God, they're incredibly powerful for depression and anxiety. I think they're amazing in regards to that. Frequency music. Holy crap. Go on YouTube right now. I have all my clients using frequencies to help heal. Frequencies are almost like a drug for the brain. They absolutely can shift brain chemistry. So go to YouTube and look for ways to lift depression, ways to heal my emotional state, ways to heal my sadness, or any kind of phrase like that. And you'll come up with probably 10 or 15 different frequencies. I'm losing my brain here. And so what you do is you Google HZ. HZ stands for frequency. So HZ to lift my emotional state. HZ to normalize my emotions. All of these things work. Listen, I was depressed for over 30 years. And I didn't know it because I used drugs, alcohol, and food and workaholism to cover it up. Now that I'm completely free, I see all the errors I made. The last thing I mentioned, I didn't even mention, it just popped into my head, workaholism. Oh my God. So many times when I was depressed, I'd throw myself deeper into the work, which would create a deeper depression. If you need help, we're offering everybody a free 20-minute session on the phone. Go to the website, talkdavid.com or davidessel.com. Send us an email. My team will set up the call ASAP. And also at that same website, 5 of our top 16 best-selling books are there for free. Grab them all right now, okay? You're never alone. My God, I've gone through it too. I can give you 20 minutes of a free session and it will help. And if you don't use me, please use someone else. Don't struggle alone. I'm David Essel. Have a great day.